Hello, everyone. This is Jim Okerzinski with your Week 16 lecture video. I'd like to begin here with an overview of the multimodal project module, unit number 7, I believe on Sunday screencast, your weekly screencast video. I did discuss at length the multimodal project and the instructions. What I'd like to talk about today in the lecture video is how to go about uh, kind of rethinking and what type of rhetorical considerations you might have for this particular project, maybe some design tips. In the reading section here in the module, I offer up the pages in the Curious Researcher. There, Ballinger does talk about presenting your research in alternative genres. Most of these sections are small little boxes of information. It shouldn't take you any time at all to read through all of them, no matter what chapter they are located or where they're located. Specifically, you might want to take a look at the pages in chapter 4 that talk about his 4 selected genres, and it'll give you some design tips and also the rhetorical considerations of putting together your specific multimodal project, whether it's the web page, it's the video, the podcast, or the infographic. All of these design tips really are apply no matter what you choose. So I urge everyone to be creative with this assignment. So in the course drive folder, you have the slide presentation that we've been working on all semester long. And I just want to highlight some of the slides that I've put together with some of my other sections in 102. All right, so if you look at some of the ideas that Ballinger puts forth in about alternative genres, I mean, you're looking at 3 rhetorical goals, whether it's to dramatize, persuade, or inform. Look at what you're specifically thinking about. What is a question or dilemma or problem that you're researching and writing on? What kind of action or behavior do you want people to take? What information is most relevant and useful? So look at some of the audience considerations. Remember, the course focuses on purpose and audience. Which particular genre would be really the best way to communicate to that audience? Now, one thing that he does talk about in the textbook about alternative techniques is he mentions at length here the photo essay, which is really meant to dramatize the problem because images can often portray and especially elicit emotion a bit better than just simple text. So he talks about the infographic and then the poster. The poster can be adapted to the web page because you are putting all your information into a single web page. You can kind of think about a poster being really an electronic form of communication. So although it may not be a big poster board or the trifold poster boards that we see at conference presentations, actually it may work out to be something like a web page. You can look in those particular considerations there. So he talks about the slide presentations, and I really don't want to talk about slides because it's just not an option. You know, they do offer some design elements that might be helpful about using quality images, similar fonts and backgrounds and graphics so that your visual aspect is consistent in presentation. If we look at the infographic, which here this page 120 in the textbook might be interesting for some people considering the infographic. It's a visual representation of information and data. Infographics are really everywhere. We see them all the time. Sometimes we're looking at them, we don't even realize it's an infographic. And an infographic in itself focuses on selective data because they're limited. So you cannot really pack a lot of information in an infographic. So you really have to prioritize what you're selecting to present to the audience in your infographic. They're great for drawing comparisons. So if you want to compare, two aspects of your topic, or if you have a problem solution format, it's a great way to put two columns in alignment with each other. So like a story, infographics have a beginning, middle, and an end. All of your basic web pages, your videos, your podcasts, your infographics, they have to have a beginning. You have to set it up. They have the middle where the information is, and then they have to have the end. So that is how our brains have developed the schema of how we perceive and understand topics, right? So you have to establish a purpose there. Visual metaphor is really big in infographics and looking at just not grabbing an image, but what does that image say? And give it a little time and consideration. There is a hierarchy between visuals, and you have to use it to dramatize a problem or the question or the dilemma. And then also sometimes hub headings can be used to break up those particular sections too. Now, he also talks about the photographic essay, and once again, if you look at it here, I mean, everything has a beginning, middle, and an end. While the design tips here can actually help you in designing the web page or even pulling together some sort of a video, and it's important to understand that your multimodal project does have a beginning, middle, and an end. So Ballinger also talks about a poster on 138, and I mentioned it earlier. Like a web page, your web page should look neat, just like a poster. Nobody likes messiness all over. Assume your audience is not an expert, so you want to present your information to an audience, a more general audience. A poster can present information for your research and make your inquiry question the headline, right? You want to make your key claims and questions and findings. Use it for emphasis and explanation, and you want to try to, just have some brief blocks of text and organize to a flow. So a lot of these concepts in a poster can be adapted to a web page, all right? And even some of these design elements will work well in a video presentation or even a podcast. You have to have a beginning of a podcast, the middle, and then how do you wrap that up? All kind of makes sense in your design elements here. So that being said, this should help give you a little bit of a background. I've already created a course folder for the multimodal assignments. So as I've said, whether you use Weebly or Slides, it's just important that I get a published link of your multimodal project submitted to Canvas, and I have to be able to see that. So that's important to follow up with that. All right. So once again, take a look at all the pages. You want to make sure that you get started on this. Don't leave it to the last minute. Sometimes if it's rushed, you may not get all of the message of your research topic into your multimodal. All right. If you have any questions, send me an email. Good luck.